Another ball spawn buried by our hand. Ball should learn better than to send his offspring against us. They might as well be babes, dropped bare bottom into the Rashiman winter. A fine deed we have done to rid Faerun of this man. All helm hair and a haughtiness. Oh, this was the Lord Gortash we were sworn to do battle with, Boo. All the better then. Do you feel it, Boo? The path of virtue beneath my boots once more. Boo and I, we are in your debt, my friend.
Withers, lay it down.
Ah, another. Thy name has been recorded. I shall be here in thy camp for whenever thou hast need of my services.
It's ridiculous, but he'll say the same thing if you talk to him with one of his hirelings. He'll go, ah, another. Thy name has been recorded. Really? Can you help me change my class?
As thou desire.
Me not having him be a ranger, I feel is okay, because, as I mentioned before, if Barbarian were in an actual class for them, they would have made the Rashiman Berserker with the Rage skill be a Barbarian. However, the biggest hit to being lore friendly, I think, is the fact that I'm dropping him down to 8 strength to optimize his stats. We're just going to give him an elixir for the day and be done with it. However, if you are trying to follow along and make a lore friendly build, you can just dump Charisma instead. Because what we're going to do is we're going to have +2 for Dex, +1 for Constitution, and the rest of the stats in Charisma. This is literally going to be his build. So if you didn't like that, I would maybe dump his Charisma and add it to Strength if you felt odd about making him drink Strength elixirs. But this is bigger to me against the lore friendly thing rather than losing the Ranger. As for his skills, I think this is fine. Athletics and Perception. We could also make it Intimidation if you wanted to be more appropriate. He's not a particularly perceptive sort, but in our party, he's less likely to be talking to anybody. Since you're likely to get Minsc at level 12, I will just go and level him up the quickest way, which is 4 to Barbarian. We will allow him to be a Wild Heart, just for Minsc flavor. And that's going to be Bear Heart, which will give him Unrelenting Ferocity, resistance to all damage except psychic damage. Feat, it's going to be Polearm Master. We're done with Barbarian, so at this time we'll put in 6 levels into Fighter. I know at the 5th level of Barbarian he'd get extra attack. We're gonna get that extra attack off of Fighter. We're gonna take Defense as his fighting style, which is what he starts out with as a fighting style on his base Ranger template. For his subclass, we'll stay with Battle Master, except whereas Lae'zel's going for more offensive abilities, we'll go for more defensive abilities for the Berserker. In this case, while Berserkers are heavily offense-oriented, the Rashiman Berserker was always intended to defend his witch, the Witchkalan, or whatever his name is. So to that effect, we're going to give him Goading Attack, Riposte, and Trip Attack. There's not very many other defensive ones. There is Evasive Footwork, but he's okay taking the hit. I think that'd be fine for him to take the hit. He doesn't need a... I think it'd be more defensive to knock the enemy down who might be trying to run past him. We get a feat at level 4 Fighter, and that's going to be ability score improvement. Let's go and round out Charisma and Dexterity. Now we get our extra attack. But if you were, say, not level 12, sure, go ahead and get 5-6 levels in Fighter first, then the Barbarian. We'll do the 6th level of Fighter solely for the extra feat. Pump that into Dexterity. This is why he gets to wear the Armor of Agility. Alright, we're done with fighter. Now we're going to make him paladin. Now, if you're thinking of the standard lawful good paladin, sure, it is an odd thing. However, he does often talk about smiting evil, right? He hates evil with a passion. I think in the original Baldur's Gate, he started out as neutral good, and then I think he became chaotic good. One of those two. He has switched from neutral to chaotic or vice versa. So he's definitely not a lawful good paladin, but it doesn't appear to be that paladins need to be lawful good anymore. And I think Oath of the Ancients is fine for him, because first off, this is kind of a more nature-y devotion. Your skills tend to be more of that sort. We've got things such as, I can't hold T and then hover over the tooltip. Kindle the light of hope in the bleakest hollows of despair. Yeah, I can see Minsc doing that. Shelter the light, where love blooms, stand against Delver would snip its stem. Okay. I don't think he really understands what love is, but he would definitely attempt to shelter it. I'm 100% sure about that. Preserve your own light. Delight in culture and small joys to preserve the light in your own heart. Yeah, I would say that sums up Minsc pretty well when you think about Boo. So I think Oath of the Ancients is actually perfect for him, because he does believe in the beauty of nature. Less so the sanctity of life, at least when it comes to the enemies. Sanctity of life for other people, sure. So that might be how normal paladins see it, though. I think this is an odd thing to use as a paladin, since that is a warrior type class who are supposed to remove life of people they don't agree with. We'll get the second level of paladin. While it does allow him to get smite evil, that really isn't the reason why we wanted 2 levels of paladin. The biggest reason we wanted paladin was for compelled duel. That being said, we went ahead and put the extra points in the charisma because why not? He's not a very intelligent or wise person, but you would say that he's particularly charismatic. Because out of all the Baldur's Gate original characters, Minsc is a fairly memorable one. I remember TX a little more because he was in the credits special. But yeah, Minsc is a pretty memorable one. He's what you call meme-worthy, right? I would say that all chalks up to charisma. So that's what I came up with to use it was Paladinhood, because that definitely makes a lot more sense than Warlock or Bard. With his Polar Mastery, he doesn't have the Sentinel feat because we instead traded that in for Dexterity +2. However, he does have the Sentinel weapon, which almost is as good. It gives him the attack advantage for his opportunity attacks, but it doesn't cause the enemy to stop. Under the normal Sentinel feat, enemies that are hit must stay still. However, I haven't found good usage of that because consistently enemies, they don't stop immediately when opportunity attack hits, and they can still melee me, even though I have the extra reach and it should keep them from even reaching me. It doesn't seem to work out that way in Baldur's Gate, or at least in the combat. We'll drink this. This will go ahead and ignore the ability drain strength for the time being. Compelled Duel is a bonus action, and Goading Strike is a regular action.
Fine lodgings you have found, my friend. Boo is already in negotiations with the guardian spirits of this place. In Baldur's Gate, they are likely to be rat-formed and eager to charge rent. But Boo shall secure safe slumber for all. Now, what do you need of Minsc?
Do you remember why you were meeting with the Zhentarim?
So dark an alliance sealed with Zentish contracts, cultish vows, and a dragon's shining horde. You think Minsc could forget? You are correct. I have no idea what any of that was about. But we shall simply... Boo! Why do you gnaw at my soft parts? I am trying to... Once again, in smaller words? I see. This truth you seek, Boo believes that Minsc is knowing more than Minsc knows. But it is a difficult thing. There are memories of this time that Minsc does not remember. And Boo suggests that, just as he helps with tricksome itches in awkward places, you must reach what Minsc cannot. The parasite. You can use it to tickle free whatever truth you seek.
Or I could just crack you over the head, see what shakes loose.
I much prefer your methods, my friend, but Boo is resolute. The worm it must be.
You sound reluctant.
The worm has already whipped me around the city like a slack-backed pony. I have no wish to saddle myself a second time. But if it cannot be Boo who pops inside my skull for a rummage, then I trust you. Or Jahira, but she is currently possessed of an empty head.
Reach out for his mind.
At first, there is nothing. His mind is empty as a still expanse of open country. But then... Your face, the Stone Lord's face, mirrored in bloodied steel. In the heat of burning buildings, you hold your blade high above pale, frightened faces.
No, that is not right. I slew only monsters. The voice said that they were monsters.
A whisper. The Absolute's voice, twisting the petty guild thieves before you into snarling, savage beasts, feeding on the weak of your city.
The guild. The Stone Lord hunted them, peeled away their rotten ranks one by one to lay bare their corrupt heart. 9-Fingers Keene. That is what the Absolute bought Black Zhentarim Steel to do. To kill the Guildmaster.
So the Zhentarim overthrow the guild. What then? What did the cult get?
What does it matter? Cultish thinking has occupied Minsc's mind for long enough. Now is time for doing. And this talk of evil overthrowing evil, pah! Like a many-headed hydra biting at its own throat. Bring forth the hydra, says Boo. More faces for the punching. First we pop the Zhentarim blood, then we show 9 fingers the 5 fingers of Minsc. Yes?
I did actually look at Nine Fingers' hands. She has all 10 fingers.
9 Fingers did put a bounty on your head.
It is only justice, then, that we put a boot upon hers.
Nope, get back here. I think he's trying to get away from aura of murder.
You will grow to like Jahira's incense in time. Like chewing herbs and soap, yes?
You're quite quick to call me friend.
Of course, my friend. Or are we not friends?
That remains to be seen.
Does it? You have seen all there is to see of Minsc, short of me stripping down to my stitches. Perhaps I can... but no, Boo has only just made himself comfortable. Let us leave the inspection for camp. Now, does Boo see a question in your eye, or just a parasite poking through?
Answer me honestly. What's with the hamster?
Well, Boo, explain yourself. Clear enough?
Perfectly.
Boo has a way with words that we lack. All that space in the cheeks, I am thinking.
I speak with animals. Why can't I understand him?
Can you not? Do you not see his noble bearing? The deep wells of wisdom that are his eyes? Boo speaks of much. Perhaps one day, you will be ready to listen.
There is something very wrong with you.
Ah, you speak of Minsc's misshapen skull. It is true. I once suffered a most heroic head wound. Before Boo, I was a typical berserker of Rashomon. Duty-bound and full of my own seriousness. The problem with one so gazing of their navel, however, they are easily ambushed. Brigands split my skull like a sodden wineskin. It was as I recovered that Boo first appeared. He told me that I had felt the great poking finger of justice, marking Minsc as its champion and Boo as my guide. As for the headache, well, justice cannot always afford to be gentle.
You lost your mind and gained a rat. Understood.
Pah! The way you tell the tale, it sounds almost silly. Now, shall we away? My boots crave the crunch of unvirtuous nethers.
I'd like to know a little more about you.
There is more than a little to know, I think. I am huge.
Jaheira sent you spent a century as a statue on the wide. I'd like to hear about it.
Ah, you come in search of stories. It is not yet time to tuck Boo in for the night, but very well. After our adventurings with the Ballspawn, Boo had had his fill of godly flesh. So, we returned to Baldur's Gate for a time. After all, in every city there is a sweaty underbelly, crying out for a virtuous scrubbing. None better to wield a brush than Minsc and Boo. Perhaps we rubbed some villain's rump a little too raw. This Minsc does not know. One moment we stood in the city slums, the next, ambush! Then Minsc and Boo woke on the wide, with stone dust in sensitive places.
And you never saw who did it?
The mind of Minsc was occupied with important matters. I was browsing a slum vendor's stall, looking for Boo's favorite nuts. And then, I was stoned. For Minsc, those years passed as quick as a hiccup. It was long ago, then it is now.
You traveled 100 years in a moment. What do you make of this new world?
I do not like these metal men on the streets, or the villains who hide behind them. But the new world is not so different to the old one. The city still clings to the hill. The sea still stretches on forever. And the stench of evil still makes Boo wish for a tiny peg on his nose. As long as that stench remains, no matter how old or young the world is, Minsc and Boo will not rest.
Is it true you traveled with the Ballspawn who saved Baldur's Gate?
Countless tales are told of Boo and Minsc. Many of them are so outlandish that even I do not know if they are true. Did Minsc bravely fend off the seductive vials of a succubus in the cloisters of Candlekeep? Maybe. Did he take a bath in the river Styx and temporarily forget himself? I do not remember. Did he travel with a spawn of the god of murder, who warred against his evil brethren and battled triumphantly at the throne of Baal itself? Of course! It was a splendid adventure.
What is your fondest memory of adventuring with Ballspawn?
The bards sing of fallen gods and mighty battles, but that is a small part of any saga. They do not sing of the times in between, when Saravak's butt had been kicked so hard that we thought he would never return. We settled in Baldur's Gate for a while. Gorian's ward, Imoen, Jaheira, Minsc, Boo, and Dinah here. My witch. She hated the city at first. Too busy, she said. Too noisy. Too many people. She complained of the smell. Although she complained of Boo's smell too, and he smells of fresh honey cakes, so Minsc believes her nose was confused. Then, one day, we walked past a shop full of wonders. Tiny magics fizzed in the air, and wizards from every corner of the world bickered and barked. Sorcery sundries. Dinah here fell in love. Dragged poor Minsc there every day, and made him stand watch while she browsed the shelves. Minsc frowned and complained. He felt more like a babysitter than a berserker. But how Dinah here smiled. Not long after, Minsc and Boo were captured, and Dinah here was dead. Oh, I would gladly be a babysitter again to see her smile. That is what I remember. More than any battles against Baal and his spawn. Yes, Boo. I know you miss her too.
You seem so positive for someone who has lost so much.
Boo says the tadpole thrives on her misery. To think dark thoughts is only to feed the darkness. It pleases Minsc more to sour its stomach with good thoughts, or better yet, not to think at all. With this in mind, Minsc thinks he has gathered enough fluff from gazing at his navel for the moment, no?
When our minds mingled, I saw some strange things.
Oh? The mind of Minsc is a simple place. Of what strangeness do you speak?
The memories resurface, a lifetime of battles blurring into one. A single constant is Minsc, launching into the fray no matter the foe, be they god, monster, or man. It seems just the barest glimpse of what the man before you has seen and done, but enough to know that he has no right to still be alive.
Ah, wait! That look in your eye. I know exactly what visions of Minsc you have seen to cause you such wonder. My pants. Thrice laced, in the Rashomar style, so that a berserker might split skulls without fear of splitting breeches too. They are fiendishly complex, but fear not for Minsc. With training, he has learned to master the many little knots.
Never mind your pants. You walked between planes, fought gods.
Well, as have you, no? Do not forget that when you gaze into Minsc, Minsc also gazes into you. We both fight evil, wherever it is found. The who and where are less important than the hamsters you meet along the way. On this matter of sharing memories, I see no reason for us to worry at one another's worms. If there is more we wish to know, we can simply ask, no?
Don't shy away from the tadpole. It's a useful way to know someone's true thoughts.
True thoughts? Meaning there are untrue thoughts? As if someone would think one thing, but say another? I do not understand.
Demonstrate. Reach out for his mind.
Your minds weave into one, what you seek laid instantly bare. His single innermost thought at the very center of his mind.
I still do not understand. No, my friend. If you fear you have a question that Minsc cannot answer, then you can simply ask Boo.
We ought to discuss the tadpole.
As you wish, but quietly. It is listening.
Do you know of a cure?
On this matter I have held small counsel with Boo. If the worm is lodged within our skulls, should it not be possible to simply squeeze like so? Until something pops out. Pay that noise no mind. Boo has not feasted on evil's flesh in some time, and it has set his gut to bubbling.
So you have no ideas for a cure?
None at all. Though Boo is tiny. Perhaps he could just crawl into our ears and... You are right, Boo. A ridiculous notion. It would be far too dark to see.
We need its power. The Emperor can help us control it if we're careful.
No! There is a very ancient and very wise saying that Minsc lives by. He who would try to control evil must beware lest evil tricks him, steals his clothes, and kicks his backside with his own boots. I read it on the privy wall in the Blushing Mermaid many years ago.
You don't understand. The Emperor is the only reason we were able to save you.
Oh, Minsc knows all about this Emperor. It has tried to introduce itself to me already. Minsc does not trust it.
Care to elaborate?
No, I do not think our new friend wishes to see me blubbering, Boo.
Boo is smart. Sharing your emotions is a good thing.
Minsc is normally the strong and violent type, but if you insist on hearing a sad tale, he can tell it. This Emperor played a very cruel trick. It made me believe that something lost had been found. It came to me in dreams, wearing a face I never thought to see again. Dinah here, a witch of my homeland. She was to be the greatest of them, and I her protector. It was not easy. She was a fierce and independent cub. She did not think she needed Mother Bear Minsc to protect her. And she was right. The elders sent us out into the world, thinking it would teach her to bow a little. But it was the world that bowed to Dinah here, wherever she went. And Minsc blundered along behind. And in the end, it was she who died, protecting me.
What happened to her?
That is in the past. It showed me Dinah here not as she was, but as she would have been. Should have been. Hearing her voice again. For a moment, Minsc almost believed it. But then, the Emperor made a mistake. It did the one thing that Dinah here would never, ever do. It told Minsc exactly what he wanted to hear. Dinah here. Hers was more the habit of teaching Minsc many new ways to say the word fool. I think on what she would say to Minsc now, cowering from a creature in his own skull. Fine. If you say this tadpole is a weapon, then let us wield it. So long as it is still our hearts that guide us, yes? Or better yet, my hamster.
We could attempt to ask him what he thinks of our companions, but for whatever reason, I don't get any options with that. Alright, let's head on over to Keene. Let's go smite some evil. I don't know if this will work out yet, so we'll consider this the first generation Minsc. Which way? It's this way. Come on, I'm clicking. I think it just didn't like that I was trying to click down these stairs. Hi, this is the Stone Lord here. You guys have anything to say about this?
When I was a lad, I made merry.
Stop! What are you doing? Are you trying to sneak past Tusgront? Do not worry. Guild's friends are Tusgrunt's friends. And I don't hurt my friends. Unless they deserve it.
Well, too bad for you. We're nobody's friends. Fortunately, they never would get surprised. Wizard down. Wannabe Volo down. Trying to find someone that he can actually aim at from where his position is. Tusgront down. Not enough movement. Oh, they finally spotted Will. I'm not sure who's looking in Will's direction to actually spot him, but alright. Let's actually see. Don't. Oh, okay. The archer that's on the balcony. Do I want to negate anything? I think it's all right. All right, Runt. Your move. Minsc has some dialogue here. I just need to get him to trigger it. So I'll pace back and forth in this alley until it happens.
Are you familiar with the evil works of Nine-Fingers and her guild, Karlach?
I've heard of her, and everyone knows the guild. They're not bad if you know how to work them.
Minsc means to do no working. When he breaks the guildmaster, it will be for the fun of it alone.
And the last person to search is Tusgront himself. Get the Guildhall hatch key and a note: no more social calls. No joke anymore. Nine-Fingers wants the entrance locked down. We didn't close during the dock riots. We didn't close for the Steve Strangler, so get it through your head. This is serious. Someone read it to Tusgront. And an orange ring. Let's head on in.
So it's that simple. Drop your weapons, bring out Nine-Fingers, and this can all end peacefully. For you, at least. What's this, Stone Lord? It's a little late to change the terms of our deal. The pieces are already in place.
The Stone Lord is no more. Boo and Jaheira and my friend would not let me stay cursed. And the only terms we offer are between my boot and your treacherous buttocks.
I see. That's unfortunate. And what about the adult in the room? Whatever I told that lot below, this will end in bloodshed. All you have to do is pick the right side.
This will be the last chance we get to trade with her. I don't really think that's intended here. Actually, when we were hiding from Minsc earlier, there was the trade button, but that would just trade with Roa Moonglow. I thought maybe it'd be an easy way to get Minx's approval up with us. She is carrying Rakath's gold bag, which is exactly 10,000 gold. That's very convenient. I mean, okay. I don't think if you compiled an entire bank's worth of assets together for the common people, that it would equal out to something completely rounded into zeros. But alright. You don't have to have this specific gold. You can just give him 10,000 gold, period, even before you even leave the bank. However, we will be taking this back. We can even trade it away from her. If she is carrying Alchemist Fire, she will throw that at her allies, just like with the previous Cairo fight where that one other character was also pitching Alchemist Fire to his friends. I don't know why they do that. So what we'll do is we'll just go ahead and take everything. And there you go. We will go ahead and pickpocket the gold off of her, both forms of it. But at this time, we have all of this. I actually don't know if we are overweight at this point. We might very well be. Can I send things to the camp? Yeah, I can. So let's just take this and we'll send all of this. Well, hold on. Send all of that to camp. Oh, no, it doesn't send to camp. Okay, Minsc, you hold it.
What are you doing? Why turn on the guild?
I'm not. I'm turning on Nine-Fingers. This place has been due a change in management for some time. Her guild is disorganized, undisciplined. The cult broke them in a matter of days, while my Zhentarim still stands strong. A guild under our control can do what Nine-Fingers failed to. Drive the Absolute out of the city once and for all, and then remain on in the city to protect its good citizens from any future threats. For a reasonable fee, of course.
My hamster can smell your lies, villain. Foul not his little nose.
Fine. Let us talk of truth, then. Do your friends know how many you killed in the Absolute's name, Stone Lord? Do you?
Do not call me that. Minsc is Minsc.
Oh? I don't recall any tales of Minsc helping the likes of Nine-Fingers. A known thief? A murderer? I thought Minsc of Rashomon served the side of good. I'm the last to judge, big man. You were just following orders. And hey, that's all you have to do now. If you don't know what's right, just let the grown-ups talk. Because I know your friend will make a smart choice.
Fine. Give your Zhentarim the order. We take this place and split the spoils.
Why would you side with this villain? Who does not... I do not understand.
Cheer up, Minsc. This is about the greater good. Maybe your hamster will explain it to you one day. Enough negotiations, Zhentarim. It's time to take our due!
Before you hit that dislike button, understand that I do have my reasons for picking the Zhentarim. This is an evil playthrough, so we will do choices that are self-serving.
Whatever
and
it
while
takes.
it ultimately doesn't really matter, as far as I know, which side is in control here, lore-wise, the Zhentarim are in a better position to help us. I don't think they're going to be any more helpful or less helpful than the Thieves Guild. Also, Nine-Fingers Keene, if you steal all of her 30 daggers, she'll just have to do fisticuffs instead of throwing daggers at people. She does a lot of damage. But lore-wise, they are whole, and they are an army, which is what Nine-Fingers said, that she needed someone who could fight back against the Absolute. Jaheira will absolutely not like this. Neither will Minsc, even though he talks about killing the guild. He would prefer you to side with the guild. Both of them would. And I imagine most players would as well. You are moving next, and then you. If I could kill those two before they get their turn, I might be able to heal Fishbait Arno, though I don't think these guys can reach him. This one might, so we really should focus on her. What I would like to do is garrot that one. So let's go ahead and begin by using a fire arrow on her, since she is next to a fire wine barrel. Okay. Then we'll go ahead and use an explosive shot. Oh, let's see here. I don't think my compatriots are in that blast range right like this. She's still not dead. Do our dread shot. And now she's gone. That gives Bloodlust trigger. And I don't want to use Arrow of the Many because it would kill the Professor. And even kill this guy over here. That Blades backsteer if I were to shoot these guys with the Blades Arrow of the Many. So I want to be careful with that. As I said, I want to garrot, but I still have an action surge, so that can wait. Let me see here. Let's back up just a tad. Don't want to hit the Professor. Those two might still be dangerous, but just in case. Maybe hit you with an arrow of ice. Critical miss. Okay. And then we'll close in. Lower her stats. Let's see, Bloodlust. -1 to saving throws. So we get a standard higher chance of garroting. Please hit. Yes, and it requires concentration. Also, this guy does not like it when you destroy stuff, so he will be unhappy with our party. Alright. Hopefully that'll keep them from killing Fishbait Arno before I can heal him. Since she stood up, that'll cost her half her movement. She must have decided that there was nowhere she could be. Let's go ahead and wild shape into a fire elemental this time. Alright, what do we get? Why are all these abilities locked down? Okay, it was just probably delayed. 10 to 29 Scorching Strike, 11 to 31 Cinderous Swipe. I'm assuming this is an attack. I know it's an action, but if it counts as a spell or something, then I wouldn't necessarily be able to attack multiple times. The reason I switched to fire was to... Okay, I was wondering if I would take fire damage. Am I actually immune to fire? Let's see if it tells us. Yeah, okay. Let's scoot to the side. Alright, what other abilities do we have? Myrmidon's Immolation. Primordial Flames Hasten Us. What? Well, we're doing that. Alright, let's see if this actually is a weapon action or just a plain action. Okay, that did nothing. Thanks, game. Did I miss her? It looked like it had her in there. It didn't. I don't think she even rolled the save, so... Alright, well, way to go, Halson. Stellar performance as usual. Let's hop on over. Oh, like that. Rage up. I throw her down here. Now, there are two people... Nice throw. There are two people down here who are guild members, but they don't count as hostile, only due to a bug. If I talk to Roa Moonglow with the Stone Lord, as I just did, these two are not hostile. For whatever reason, it's a bug. They are still fighting the Zhentarim when I still need to defeat them to continue. If I do this without the Stone Lord, as if Minsc is too far, not in their area, or he's not alive or whatever, then these guys would be standard hostile. You can also talk to Nine-Fingers coming in from this way as well, but that conversation is not nearly as interesting. I don't want to throw her. What we'll do is, if you can make it without tripping, let's throw this one down as well. I think the railing is keeping me from throwing. Hold on, there was a line for a second. There we go. Nice. Okay, we'll go on Action Surge. And we'll follow suit. Unfortunately, shooting the arrow at teleportation does use up a whole action. Try it. This is not my first take at this round. I don't know why you think you need to be down there for this. Let's try throwing again. You don't really have a good angle to anything, huh? I could just jump down, but maybe we'll arrow down. But I don't think any of these bad guys are gonna survive another turn. Well, we could walk further. I don't think we're gonna slip. All right, we're good. Let's go ahead and throw. Anything we want to throw? Or we could make someone dance. No, I have another action. Why can't it? Casting spells is... Oh yeah, rage. I guess we'll hit him.
Yes.
Most of my characters will have trouble hitting this one. He is out. It is Tran's turn. We still have a character over there. Let's go ahead and Misty Step. Can I Misty Step to that side of the room? Not quite. I can Misty Step down here, though. Tran is hostile to them, which is just fine. We'll get right in there and have my aura of murder apply to them all. I could throw a potion down of haste. I can find it in this stack. Where are you, my potion of haste? Seriously, where are they? Oh, there they are. Why are... Oh, wait. Okay, that's invisibility. I was just wondering why it was grayed out. The game's lagging, probably because it's trying to juggle his inventory. So let's throw this potion of haste down at our feet. Hopefully it actually connects with us. Now we'll stab this guy with the Aura of Murder. How much damage? It was enough to kill him. 44. Why do I not have another move, though? I don't get you sometimes, game. I Misty Step, that's my bonus action. I threw a Potion of Haste. I guess that was just a normal action, so it wouldn't be a weapon action. Then I stat. Oh yeah, he's not a warlock, he doesn't have extra attacks. Now I get it. Make sure everybody is encompassed in Aura of Murder if viable.
To arms! Wait, no! To swords!
I'm not really familiar with... I've never actually summoned Boo, not even in my rehearsals. Summon your adorable, occasionally violent, and above all, faithful companion, Boo. Once for short rest. Can I summon him down there? Not enough space. Oh, okay, so he needs to head there. But he does have a range of 18 meters.
Done.
Let's get Boo out there. It's not the animation I was expecting for Boo. That's a good picture. His model is not so good, but that picture is nice. Even if it is just a model reoriented. Because when I played Baldur's Gate 1 and 2, way back then, I did not know what a hamster was. I knew Minsc had one, and it was kind of cute. Since then, I have actually owned some pet hamsters, and they are pretty cute. What can we do? We can bite for 7 to 13. We have 20 hit points. Let's go ahead and bite you, since you're actually hostile to this side. Alright, that's all you can do? Alright. Don't want to dismiss, we'll just put in turn. We have Compelled Duel, which is a bonus action. Can we reach us 9 meters? We probably can't reach anybody with it. Let me hop on down. Action Surge. Then we'll do some goading attacks. Since you're still standing. Critical miss. Alright, he is goaded and Noxious Fume on everybody. In turn. I'll take some shots at her. Okay. And then we're going to tell her... Well, can we dominate her? Just... Yeah. I wonder how the game would handle that. It probably would not handle that well. Alright, we'll hold person her. I assume you can't see anybody else. Maybe if I stepped over there. Alright, well, no, we'll go and just hold person her and her alone. And then we'll step forward and critical strike her in the face twice. Gale, you're up next. We have Minthara as well. Minthara, you might slip from this flooring, right? You cannot be forcibly moved. You ignore the effects of difficult terrain. I think all this means is you don't move at half speed, but you can still slip. That's what I think that means. We won't risk walking over it. Teleport. Not enough space. How much space do you need? And it does damage to everybody near, right? Deal 2 to 16 in a 3 meter zone. I don't know if it would affect the other people there, so I wouldn't want to get them hurt and then make them mad at me. So why don't we Misty Step? We'll Misty Step here first. Okay. 9 to 13. 30% to move her. 49% with a disintegrate. Guess we'll Eldritch Blast. It seems kind of sad to just use Eldritch Blast like a very common attack. No, I can't even reach him. Alright, maybe arrows it is? No, the railing just blocks the shots. That's ridiculous. I think that means it will connect. Can I divine... Is Divine Smite at all a ranged attack? No, it's just melee only. I should have braced then, since we action surged. It's fine. I guess we'll go and do it now. Even though I've already shot 2 arrows, there's no harm falling under the sunk cost fallacy that just because I've already done it means I shouldn't. I'm trying to make sure I target her rather than my elemental. Nice shot. Alright, that's another one down. Gale. I really don't know if that's gonna hurt these people. I mean, the explosion I did covers about this much ground. That kind of reaches that way. Unfortunately, he doesn't really have a good way to get down there. We can continue to hurt her. I suppose that's all we'll do. So we'll Witch Bolt, max level. Actually, make sure we're close enough to crit strike. As she's being garroted in the middle of the Thieves Guild, she is silenced and has to stay still. Esterian as well cannot move either. We're gonna hit her with a max strike, and this will pretty much toast her. We'll go and do Destructive Wrath. And she is gone. Crispy bacon style. How much damage was that? 120. What? No, you were goaded. Why did you attack Boo? So what was that about? A hot knife or bare hands or charm spell, people? I gave you some in-universe reasons why we're supporting the Zhentarim. Now some other reasons that are against the guild. Keene is so desperate for muscle, she's conscripting orphans to become child soldiers. Her guild has readily attacked us, while the Zhentarim, from the guys holding the Beholder chest to the camp under Joaquin's Rest, they just want to make a deal. Us being a neutral evil character, we would side with the more powerful organization. The Zhentarim being lawful evil, even though they don't necessarily stay bots, and they really only serve Zhentarim as a faction. I mean, that's pretty much any organization would do that. But the guild squabbles within itself, which helps lead to its demise here and now. We've already got Spirit Guardians running. So if I were to jump down, I would actually make the thunder happen on a bunch of allies. So we'll just go and jump down normally. We'll activate Step of the Wind Dash. Are these all the bad guys left? Dude! Alright, I'm I'm gonna redo that fight and make sure the professor is alive. That is stupid. Let them take their opportunity attacks against her if they can. Jump back to you. So I'll redo the fight because I don't want the professor to die. I mean, he's not a very important character, but I don't think it's necessary to kill him since he's a non-combatant. Game is trying to catch up to all of her attacks. Jaheira, let's see what you got for me. We'll have you do Step of the Wind dash as well. You probably can't jump down without taking some damage, yeah, but you can at least jump towards this ladder. Can you climb down the ladder? Is everyone blocking you? Alright, you seem alright. Since you're standing, we'll punch you to death first. Punch you to death next. Actually, we might be able to throw you to death into this one. Okay. Victory. Okay, yeah, and you could smash the blocks above the Zhentarim or the guild people's heads, and it still wouldn't hurt anybody. I don't know. I mean, maybe they just need to move over a little bit. But they are not in a default position to be hurt. Tran is still lethargic. Let's just waiting for it to cool off. The Zhentarim can be big on slavery, but the guild will just kill you if you can't pay what you owe. On her body, we would find regular leather armor +2, high security vault number 7, and just a few keys for the Guildhall. So the professor, can I loot him? Yeah, apparently I can. Scouting for kingpins. Actually, I guess it's okay that I killed him because I was trying to figure out where this book was because I had read it during my rehearsal, but I couldn't remember. Prof, once the Stone Lord is taken down, we're going to need to reshuffle the kingpin structure in the outer city. I think everyone but Rael needs to go. That's the one who said, like, hey, I'm loyal to you, and here's a finger of this bad guy. Take a tour through the little guild halls in the outer districts, sound out the enforcers and collectors, and get a feel for who would be both effective and loyal in the leadership role. Do this right, and I'm looking at you for the next kingpin of Twin Song. But if you blow it and set off a succession fight, you're fish food. 9 fingers.
Ready to do some business?
You're still trading. Aren't you concerned with the new management?
Please, the Zhentarim can hold the Guildhall, but that's not the same as holding the guild itself. Once they realise that, they'll be looking for a mediator. Someone to speak for the crews. I'll be right here. Now, if you're here for business, talk to Sticky. I don't deal directly with the customers.
You're so full of yourself, but I guess creating this power vacuum helps Mole. Not that it actually does anything.
Uktar, I remain Guild Bursar, whoever sits in the big chair. Do we have business?
With the professor back among the living, let's see what he has to say.
Nine-Fingers was the only thing keeping the Kingpins united. I doubt the Zhentarim can do the same, no matter how pretty their uniforms are.
Oh, please. I actually think that the Zhentarim could probably run a much more dangerous organized crime than the guild has been, since they function more as an army. Almost a hive mind, I think. I mean, I don't know much about Zhentarim rules, but what little I do know about them says that their primary agenda is to just strengthen Zhentarim. what is in the Zhentarim's best interests.
My new office. The chair could be a little comfier, and the desk definitely needs adjusting, but I'd say it'll do. A deal well done. Congratulations all round.
That's good for you. Now what?
I redecorate, I think. This place could do with some Zhentarim banners. Then we prepare. When it comes time to fight the Absolute, you'll have a private army at your beck and call. With a newly minted sword captain at its head, I suspect. The network has been looking for a toehold in this city for years, and I just gave them the whole damn leg up.
And why does the Zhentarim care so much about Baldur's Gate?
Trade. Why else? That gap-handed wench and her guild held their monopoly for far too long. Now the guild can become a scent operation. And we'll have your back when the battle horns start blowing. You have my word.
Let's see what our companions have to say about all of this.
Minsc is so amazing!
Hardly the noblest conflict we've encountered, but criminals will have their squabbles, even in the looming shadow of utter annihilation.
I don't like getting caught between the Guild and the Zhentarim. You always make enemies when you take sides in a struggle like that. And in this case, they're enemies we might not see coming until it's too late.
Neither the Zhentarim or the Guild are capable of running this city as they should. Once we have conquered the Absolute, perhaps we can turn our attention to dissolving the criminal elements of Baldur's Gate and replacing them with our own candidates.
My friend, now we have settled the matter of the Guild. I fear there is something I must tell you. You and Boo both. It may shock you both to know, but Minsc and this Stone Lord, they are one man. The same one man. And that same one man is Minsc.
Alas, alack, it cannot be so.
Please, my friend, your noble tears will not make the confessing any easier. I wish to believe the Stone Lord's evil was the worm alone, attainting my thoughts with foul dung. But I see now, the dung was within Minsc all along. So I wonder, if Minsc can be a villain, and the Zhentarim now stand as the city's protectors, must it be so with all creatures? Is there good and evil within us all? Boo calls this nonsense. Less thinking of bad thoughts, says he, and more breaking of bad bones. But still, I would hear what you have to say on the matter, my friend.
You believe you are following Jaheira. That's not evil.
Even though it led to evil ends? And even the true Jaheira is not always right. She sometimes pets Boo a little too roughly. Or denies him the breakfast broth so that I must dip him in the pot when she looks the other way.
I do not pet him too Wait. You do what?
I begin to wonder if good and evil is not a thing of knowing. If it is sometimes a thing that Minsc must decide for himself. Alone. Which is why I'm asking you.
Everyone has the potential for good. It's just buried deeper in some, or lost along the way.
I see. I ask only because this throwing of our lot in with the Zhentarim, I can see the good in it if I stop and squint for a moment. Evil might be turned to virtuous ends, like hoisting a goblin by the toes so that you might use him to club another, larger goblin. But a word of warning, if Minsc may. No matter how mighty the warrior, you cannot swing a goblin forever. Sooner or later, it comes time to set the dizzy little demon down and do battle with him all the same. Do you understand my meaning?
Why don't you explain it again to me? Slowly.
Let me find a chance to demonstrate instead. It need not be a goblin. An unmannerly halfling will do. The point is this. You say the path between good and evil is not always clear. Very well, says Minsc, who has always guided my boots, and so now he shall guide yours too. My hamster's hopes are a heavy burden to bear. We must not let him down.
I asked for your help. Huh? Set us on course for what happened at the Guildhall. So, perhaps, I have no right to question. But whatever your feelings on Nine-Fingers, whatever mine, I cannot see how we served the city by putting the Zhentarim in her place.
I'm sorry, Jahir. I know she was your friend, but the city is better off without her.
I have no illusions about who Estelle was. She was a criminal. A brute, even, when she had to be. But her every act, even those I opposed, was done in service to her city, no matter her personal feelings. So it seems I must honor that, and do the same. But mark my words. When the Absolute is finished, when all of this is done, the city will feel her loss.
And before we leave, of course, we're going to take all that gold back. So we're going to activate turn-based mode and pickpocket both items. All of the gold. I guess we'll drink again. And pickpocket the other thing. Drink again, and we're out of here. Looks like there was no need to go in turn-based mode, considering we immediately were spotted because of dark vision. Let's go ahead and just send that to, I don't know, send that to Minsc, and send that to Minthara. Alright, let's get out of here and return to the bank. It is faster if you just hand over the gold while you're still there, but it wouldn't make much sense video-wise or story-wise.
Better not be coming out of my way.
Much bloody use.
I'm never going to balance. Why, you? What in shadows have you come back for?
You have been the subject of many wrinkled brows between my hamster and I, Sir Bankerbeard. On the one hand, you are clearly evil and deserving of a mouthful of righteous knuckle. But, on the other hand, the one in which Boo sits and pleads your case. At the time of our last meeting, Minsc was the evil one. So, we are not agreed on whether we will return here and feed you to a mimic yet.
I see. Well, by all means, keep me up to date.
You lost innocent people's money. The guild ought to swallow some of that cost.
Ha! Oh, you're serious? Maybe you don't have a head for accounting, but that's not quite how numbers work.
These large numbers, they wrinkle Minsc's brow and bring a soreness to his skull. Make them smaller, please.
I'd listen to him before his hamster has to give him a head rub.
For Thaumaturgy, which is a spell that we don't really need to use much, but it doesn't inflict any penalties, like Friends might.
Hamster? But, look, I can't. The losses... Fine. I'll pull in some debts with other guild kingpins. I can cover maybe half of what's lost. But I need something back. Understand?
Here's the coin.
And not even a whisker light. God, you're a boring bastard. Me too, I suppose, because I'm not even tempted to scam you. Take this vault key. You'll find something by way of thanks inside.
Delighted to have his gold back, Rakath rewarded us handsomely. The key that he gives us opens up this safe, and we will now also take a look at all of these safes, along with the corresponding book to let you know who owns it. In Rakath's safe is the elegant studded leather. Again, in our playthrough, I will just be holding onto the keys and not opening the safes, because I am curious to see if the Bursar does anything. I'm fairly sure he does not, but I just want to see. Elegant studded leather, +2 bonus to initiative, cast a shield spell, and advantage on stealth checks. Unfortunately, the shield spell is just per short rest. I was hoping for, per turn or per battle or anything like that. Let's also go and see what each one of these are. Let's go ahead and switch over to Astarion. Do we have the book on us? Yeah, it's Counting House Family Vault List. So Vault 1, Lororican. Lororicans. I was waiting for him to say, "What are you doing?" And then never mind. Guild Artisan. These belong in the museum. So Lororican has Nymph Cloak and Spell Savant Amulet. You gain an additional level 2 spell slot. Okay. I would say those things are worth more than 300 gold. Uktar needs to up his game. High security vault level 2. Let's put this in a quick slot. This would be Janath. In these desks are dock chest keys.
What do you think you're... Oh, go on. What bloody difference does it make?
We get Perfumed Days, Passionate Nights. Looks like a romance novel. Janath's brief but torrid affair with a young scapegrace named Orin and Gortash. Janath's hat, advantage on persuasion and deception checks. And then some jewelry. Third chest is Czar, that's Astarion's friend. We have the long arm of the Gur. When used against undead creatures, this weapon has 1d4 bonus to attack and damage rolls. Okay. This is actually why why I have Astarion loaded with his undead sling arrows. We'll be doing that. And I actually don't have very many undead sling arrows. It just hasn't been in the market as much as, say, humanoid arrows or whatnot. I have just enough to load him up with 25 arrows. Because loading him up with too much, it would overburden him. So I put 25 in most stacks. Alright, this is High Security Vault 7, which should be Keene. We didn't need to pick that then. In Keene's, we got Knock Knuckle Gloves, Cast Knock. How often? Long Rest. A heavy chest. And inside are some toys. Okay, maybe she has a soft spot for her childhood or orphans or something. Whatever. That's 8. Over here is 6, 5, and 4. Number 8 is Devere. That's our guest from previous Baldur's Gate. Inside we find Patriarch blackmail files. Halath family, Rivistes, relatively speaking, real estate money, upper and lower city, owns Elf Song Tavern, Singing Lute, Stormshell Row, and the silent party with minority stake in the Blushing Mermaid. Oh, that sounds boring. Head of family is nominally the Elder Lord Orthagon Halath, but in practice all decisions are made by his business-savvy daughter, Matron Marigold. Exploitable vulnerability. Favorite grandniece Holiday Halath, heir to Lord Orthagon, is an insatiable gambler and owes substantial debts in dicing halls from Stony Eyes to Sow's Foot. Skeletons in Patriarch's closets. Valuation assessment of Patriarch dossiers compiled confidentially by Sir Uktar Guild Bursar. What? Esteemed Mother Superior, this peerless collection is clearly the fruit of many years' intelligent work. Speaking professionally, I found it reviewing it to be personally rewarding. It would also be financially rewarding if, at need, the cloister chose to sell it to the highest bidder on the gate's black market. In such an event, I recommend offering to Nine-Fingers Keene at the Guild, of course, to Edvard Needle of Baldur's Mouth, and to Blaze Liara Porter of the Flaming Fist. To get your best price, mention to each that you're offering it to the others. If your situation becomes urgent, any of these would gladly buy these dossiers outright for several thousand gold, but you get more in an auction. And some gold and some gems? Okay. High security vault number 6. That would be Gortash. Then following that would be 5 Raven Guard, and then this one must be the Umberlee. Alright, Gortash, he keeps a parasite. I don't know why he would keep a parasite in his safe vault. Is he worried that he needs one last parasite? That would be maybe the concern of an adventurer, not the Archduke of an entire city with the Absolute's armies at his command. Really? He's going to keep a... Look, I get it. As game loot, sure, but as in lore, it makes no sense. Book number 1. It's the Astral Prism Heist. I don't know if we've read this one already, but I will let you pause if you would like to read it. It's Gortash's Private Memoir Notes number 16. Gortash Private Memoir Notes number 9. I'll also let you pause this if you'd like to read it. And we get the Mind Flayer Parasite, Shield Steward Interrogation Log or Letter, which we have seen on his table, and some gold. Why would Gortash feel the need to keep 106 gold in his safe? Why? Raven Guard. He's got the Raven Guard's Scourger, a 1d8 piercing Morning Star with Commander's Strike, once per short rest. Well, not nearly as good as Tran's Mask. You would think the weapon would be better at hitting things than the mask is at hitting things, but okay. Then regular weapon actions. 500 gold. Apparently Raven Guard is richer than Gortash. And a Father's Diary. This is a worn and much handled journal in which older Raven Guard recorded his favorite memories of his beloved son Will. Spent the afternoon with Will on the docks by the Water Queen's house, relaxing on the planks, though the harbor fog swallowed the sun as usual. Will asked if the temple wave serpents were real mermaids, and I told him they certainly looked the part. Real mermaids could breathe underwater and rarely showed their faces above it. Then I'm going to swim down and catch one, he shouted, and dove off at the end of the dock. He kept trying to hold his breath and stay under the surface, but eventually he got exhausted and I had to haul him out, minus his new shoes, alas. But I'll never forget his smile as he said, "I saw one, Father. I saw a mermaid, a real mermaid." And his eyes grew misty and he added, "She was beautiful." Well, let's see the safe of these mermaids. A bunch of necklaces, and the Trident of the Waves. On a hit, create a 2-meter water surface centered around the target. Oh, that sounds actually kind of convenient for... Does it actually make the target wet? Let's see if throwing works. So we'll just throw this at Tran, our target dummy. Because no one... if you hit your NPCs, they will disapprove of it eventually. Even if we aren't keeping the save, I try to keep things consistent. So let's see if this makes them wet. Not if you're going to miss. Because if it does, then we can combine that with... No, it did not. Okay, so I guess I have to stab him with it. Because if it does inflict the wet status effect, that means that I could use this to prime my lightning strikes. Yeah. And it did create wet status afterwards. Okay. That seems pretty potent. What if I were to combine this with Will? Well, then he wouldn't... Oh, is it versatile? It is versatile. What is Will's main hand weapon? It does... Okay, that's just interchangeable. I can use hold person and stuff. So I could give this to Will. And then when he stabs someone with it, instead of shooting with the Bane crossbow, when I stab someone with it, they'll get wet. He can cast hold person, and then I can do double lightning damage, so for 240 lightning damage per shot. Excellent. Alright, that concludes our adventures with the Guildhall and Minsc. Thank you very much for watching Tran Wins Baldur's Gate 3. I'll see you next time.